The NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship is presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up.
Back here in downtown Los Angeles, the Clippers were playing at the Staples Center earlier today. Tonight, it is the national championship here from the Galen Center. USC against UC Irvine, a great crowd on hand. And moments ago, UC Irvine's head coach John Speraw had some fun in the huddle with Will Thomas. Check it out. Will Thomas, the life of the party. Think these guys are loose?
They look ready. Going for their third title in 6 years.
The head coach for USC in his 6th year is Bill Ferguson. His 3rd trip to the NCAA tournament, his 2nd trip to the national championship. John Speraw in his 10th season has won titles in 2007, 2009, and trying to win one here in an even year.
And both coaches, such great credit to them for turning these programs around. Both programs struggled before they took over.
Kurtz, we talked about a couple of key players. How about other guys to look for?
Well, really interesting because it's like you got 2 NFL rookies at quarterback. Both Chris Austin, who's done a tremendous job since Daniel Stork was out with a concussion for UC Irvine, and the freshman, Micah Christensen for USC, have never been in this position before. Very inexperienced. In fact, really only a half a season of play for Austin, and now a full season for the freshman across the net.
We are
critical that they keep their heads.
We are set to play as Kevin Tilley will serve first for UC Irvine. And the first set of the match is for Tanner Jansen, and the point for USC. Robert Feathers, a freshman, back to serve here for USC. A block. And the point. 1-1 UC Irvine and USC. Now Dan McDonald will serve here for UC Irvine. Once again, it's Jansen.
Absolutely, you can see USC trying to establish some other strengths. Of course, their #1 strength is going to the Player of the Year, Tony Chiarelli, but they've already gotten 2 kills from Tanner Jansen. Only 9 days ago, Chiarelli was the only one to have kills in double digits. They need to get more offense from other people.
And now the first service error of the match. 2-2, and back to serve is Carson Clark, who has got a nasty serve. A lefty, it looks like he's playing tennis on a serve. And there's a service ace. He leads the country in aces, and he gets his first of this match.
And he gets a lot of spin action on it. It will curve as it's going at a player. It'll curve right to left. And that's what happened on the ace on Mohalski. USC at a little disadvantage. They don't have a lefty to practice against. A spinner like that, and another bad pass.
Chiarelli's first swing of the match results in a point.
So USC scrambling on this play. You see the serve curve that way, right to left on your screen, but Chiarelli hitting a great high seam shot. Smart to stay away from the middle blocker.
And now Chiarelli with a powerful serve.
What a great pass by Tilley.
And a whiff on the attempt there by Scott Kevorkian.
This is something to keep an eye on. The setter Austin had some trouble connecting with a few of his hitters. On this play, it was Kevorkian, but they missed on several plays in the semis. They've got lots of people to go at, and just the other day, their backup setter, starter early in the season, came in and did a great job in the semifinals.
4-4 here in this first set, best of 5. And the kill for Steve Shandrick, one of the 2 seniors on the club here for USC.
This is UC Irvine deciding, well, we're just going to put one guy at the most on Shandrick, not really honoring him very much. Easy kill for Shandrick. Great choice by the freshman setter.
Austin set back row, and there is Connor Hughes coming flying in.
This is the bread and butter play of UC Irvine. It's called the BIC, or a back row quick. And watch how fast number 2 comes through your screen. There's 2 blockers up, but it is really tough to stop. Connor Hughes on that time with the put away for Irvine.
And a block, a solo block by Chris Austin, the setter, gets the point for UC Irvine.
One-on-one block. And Mohalski got a little under that ball, couldn't see where the blocker was, hit it right into his right hand.
And a kill for Mohalski. We're tied up again at 6. These teams have met 3 times this year. UCI won 2 of the 3 meetings. And most recently 3-2 in the MPSF semifinals. Austin set. And this time going to a change of pace was Connor Hughes coming from that back row once again.
But again, a misconnection. Hughes could not take a swing at that ball, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. The opposing libero, USC's number 3 there, J.B. Green, who's just started the last 2 matches. We really got to keep an eye on that. He's not played much this season, and he got beat on that short ball. Defenders like that should not.
Good dig by Austin. The first swing of the match for Clark. And now the error there by Kevin Tilley gives the point to USC.
Boy, he has such poise throughout this season. That was a very unpoised play, a terrible choice by Tilley. I'd expect Austin to go back to him, give him a chance to make amends for that. Let's see if the set goes behind Austin. Yep, no, the BIC.
And it's Connor Hughes into the net, point for the Trojans. It's hard for us to decipher where that ball is going. How hard is it for the defense on that big play?
It's really hard because you have 4 hitters coming at 3 blockers every time. And so what's happening, UCI had tremendous success 9 days ago with this big play. And they're just going to run it until USC decides to stop it. Twice now USC gotten beat by the soft shot, the open-handed tip. And they've got to recognize that sooner, that there's a misconnection on those swings.
Powerful serve by Tilley. Free ball here for UC Irvine. It's Connor Hughes again off to a great start now with 5 kills already in this first set.
And this is the libero, of course, for USC. He's missed a defensive attempt and now passed the ball over the net. Early in a match, I think it's really important to get a feel for how hard those servers are serving and keep the ball off the net, keep the ball on your side of the net, and then you can work it closer. But that time, Green trying to get it too close.
Kevin Tilley, the first team All-American from France. Another swing there for Chiarelli. And a hot hand for UC Irvine. Connor Hughes stays hot. His 6th kill of this first set. He has 6 of the first 10 points for UC Irvine.
What's scary is nobody else is really going for Irvine yet. If they all get going, it's going to be an offensive onslaught.
Everyone talks about this depth of this UC Irvine team. And a service error there by Kevin Tilley, and a point for USC.
And there are certain guys like Tilley who just have the green light all day long. Fastball, fastball, fastball. And he brought the heater on that one a few feet out.
Feathers to serve. Clark gets the point. And that is going to be key for this UC Irvine team, is if Carson Clark gets going with those swings.
And it really depends on if he gets the right height, the right location. He needs a pretty consistent and accurate set. Austin has not always been able to give that to him, but tonight so far they're off to a good start.
Good up by McDonald. Nobody was there to finish it. And the points for USC.
I like what Coach Ferguson says about Tanner Jansen, who just notched that kill. He said he's the perfect opposite. He has no conscience. He'll swing just as hard at 0-0 as at 26-all.
Now a service error for Tanner Jansen. And that is the third service error of this first set for USC. They trail by 2. They've given away 3 points. And once again, it's Clark to serve.
And he scored his first time.
That is just a nasty serve. It's almost like, imagine the best lefty pitcher in his slider. That's what he has.
But again, it's at what is supposed to be the best passer, the player with a different colored jersey, in this case, J.B. Green for USC. Trying to cool off the serving of Carson Clark.
A timeout taken here by Bill Ferguson and USC. A good start for the UC Irvine Anteaters. They lead by 3 here in the first set.
San Diego State, football.
Nebraska, baseball.
USC, soccer. At Enterprise Rent-A-Car, we hire more new college graduates every year than any other company.
And many of us played college sports too.
Like me.
Like me. And me.
Now we're all on the same team. Yours.
Enterprise is proud to be an official corporate partner of the NCAA.
Teamwork. Let us show you what that means.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Division I student athletes have higher SAT and ACT scores than college-bound students.
The number of us receiving diplomas
is at an all-time high.
African-American males who are student athletes
are 10% more likely to graduate.
Still think we're just a bunch of dumb jocks?
You need to do your homework.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Back here in Los Angeles, the Santa Monica Pier. The National Championship Trophy goes everywhere around LA. It's 13-10 UC Irvine leading USC here in the first set. And Karch, a great start to this match for Connor Hughes of UC Irvine.
And UC Irvine running it right down the guts, just as they did 9 days ago when they fell down 2-0 but came back. Connor Hughes coming out of the back row, that time one-on-one. But he can do it even if there's 2 blockers up sometimes. And when there's a misconnection, he's dropping it short. Then he hits the high hands. Been very solid for Irvine. Gotten 7 of their 11 attempts. Chris Austin feels very comfortable so far with that connection. He's going to keep milking it.
Chiarelli's swing gets blocked.
USC looking very much out of rhythm there. I think Chiarelli wants a faster set, but for whatever reason, Christensen gave him a very slow set to the left side there. Chiarelli and Nygaard talking. Jeff Nygaard, who played one of the great players at UCLA, assistant coach for USC. There's a better pass. And that's the speed that Chiarelli wants. Much, much faster to the outside.
Why? Why does he want the faster set?
Because there's no time for the middle blocker to get over there, so he's going to hit one-on-one a lot. The ball travels faster than the body can, and so he had an easy put away. Really good set and good adjustment by Christensen.
And let's see what he does now with a serve. An ace for Tony Chiarelli.
There was a point this season playing at Pepperdine. He served 13 straight times, including 5 or 6 aces. Normally, USC puts Chiarelli to the service line first because he scores so much on his serve, and they need that a lot out of him. He got no aces 9 days ago.
A block up at the net by Micah Christensen. And that's 2 straight off the serve of Tony Chiarelli.
Yep. And good call by Sparrow to ice the good serving of Chiarelli. He created both those points, first with an ace and then pushing the bad pass and a bad swing.
These are the top 2 teams in the country meeting in the national championship. It's a 1-point first set.
That leaky roof will cost you thousands in repairs, and gushing gutters can destroy your home's foundation. Phil Swift here for Flex Seal, the easy way to coat, seal, and stop leaks fast. Flex Seal fills cracks and holes, stopping the toughest leaks, remaining completely flexible. Flex Seal is actually liquid rubber in a can. To show you the amazing sealing power of Flex Seal, we replaced the bottom of this boat with a screen door and covered it in Flex Seal. After a day on the water, the inside is completely dry. Don't call a repairman. That'll cost you thousands of dollars. You can get Flex Seal right now for just $19.99. Flex Seal is perfect for roof repair and basement leaks and so much more. But wait, we're going to double your order. That's twice the sealing power for only $19.99. Just pay processing. Call now.
To order Flex Seal, call 1-800-883-5260 or order online at getflexseal.com.
The NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship is presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, 14-13. That is the score here in this first set. UC Irvine leading USC. And Sunday the college baseball season continues in the Big West as UC Santa Barbara visits the UC Irvine Anteaters. College baseball on ESPNU Sunday at 5 Eastern time. Chiarelli is back to serve. He had a moment in the semifinals where he had won 7 straight points, got his team off to a great start in that second set against Lewis. Another good serve, a good dig by Brinkley. Austin set. Hughes.
Nice shot.
Chiarelli. And a free ball here for USC. A block at the net by Hughes.
What a heads-up play by Hughes. UC Irvine knew there was no offense behind the setter, so Hughes moves over to his left. You'll see it right here. Number 2 on your screen in white. Jumps over and he takes the first option. The middle was going to take the second option. That's good game preparation by UC Irvine.
Chiarelli, great job getting it in there. Change of pace. And had to alter what I think he had in mind.
And he swings so hard normally that he has the defense really dug in, playing on their heels, and they couldn't recover. Michael Brinkley been doing a nice job, though, for UC Irvine as their libero this season.
Big swing by Carson Clark.
So now you can see that UC Irvine spreading it out a little bit, and they're getting Carson Clark going. He's a big part of why they won in 2009, 3 years ago as a freshman, now trying to go for his second title.
Tilly gets his kill. The first kill of the match for Kevin Tilly. This is a guy who has been on fire his last 4 matches. At least 20 kills in each of his last 4 matches.
And a good adjustment there. He ran in too early. He was hanging, just hit the ball softly off the block, got the kill.
Jansen again. Clark. And a good swing by Stephen Mahalski. Makes it a 2-point first set.
Well, both teams have to be happy about things. Number 1, Carson Clark is going okay for UC Irvine. He's been having some trouble connecting with his setter, and USC getting some nice balance in their offense. They're not just dependent on the player of the year, Tony Chiarelli, for points.
Micah Christensen with USC's 4th service error here in the first set. And now it's Chris Austin to serve.
Nice up.
Chiarelli gets the set. Tilly has it blocked. Robert Feathers up at the net. Leads the nation in blocking, gets one there.
And his coach says he has an eye and a nose for where to put his hands that time, placing them just right. He wants to get those hands across the net a lot and take away the power shot.
Not a good pass, but a good save by Wright and the kill by Tilly.
And of course, Tilly scored some points at the line. He comes up for his turn to serve again. See how USC can control that potent weapon.
Again, like you said before, he has the green light to go at it. That's his second service error of this first set.
Well, and you'll notice UC Irvine, Coach Bra said, hey, you know, we've been missing a lot. If we're only missing 15, 16% of our serves, we're in good shape. But if we're missing 21, I'm a little worried, but I'm still giving green lights to guys.
And Tilly goes into the net, so an uncharacteristically off first set here for Kevin Tilly.
Yep. There was a little bit of traffic in there, and he just didn't get a good swing on that ball. Good block by Steven Chandrick.
Clark again. It seems like Clark and Austin have a much better matchup going here in this one.
Yeah, and Sparrow may be talking to him right now about getting Clark going. USC is not getting two blockers over there. They're focusing on other things. As long as they are, Clark's got some space to attack.
20-18, UC Irvine leading.
Nice up.
Chiarelli.
What a great shot by Chiarelli to take the setter out of that. Wow.
And an error there by Carson Clark. But like you said, it was set up because the heads-up play by Chiarelli.
He didn't have a good set to swing at, but you notice he hit it down the line. That made the UC Irvine setter, Chris Austin, play the first one. And then they were scrambling. They barely got the ball up and couldn't even get it over the net and in.
Jeff Carlson comes in to serve for the Trojans.
Good touch by Chandrick.
Chiarelli high above the blockers. The National Player of the Year ties this first set up at 20.
What a swing. He goes up and over. He loves this fast tempo, and he just goes right over a strong two-person block for UC Irvine.
Another good serve by Carlson. Clark gets the point back for UC Irvine. Fourth kill of the first set here for Carson Clark, and now he gets to serve with that almost slider-like serve that he has.
Already got two aces, looking for his third. And another serve that got the libero in trouble.
And then Tilly comes flying in from the back for the point. Timeout taken here by Bill Ferguson and USC. 22-20, UC Irvine leads USC in a rematch of the 2009 National Championship. It was Bill Ferguson against John Sparrow. These teams met. And for match point, UC Irvine will get the chance to celebrate, capturing its second national championship in 3 years. There was Tony Chiarelli having to be consoled on the floor, and here he is now as a senior. And he is a leader of this team. You look at the meetings this year, what happened. I look at that April 26th meeting when USC was up 2-0 and UCI comes back here at the Galen Center.
That was big. You certainly want to have that kind of momentum going into the NCAA semifinals, NCAA finals. USC felt it played an awful match that day, and it also felt it played quite badly when it lost that first meeting. So they're hoping for at least average or better. Meanwhile, the servers who should be scoring the points for both these teams are Tilly scoring, Clark is scoring, and Chiarelli for USC, serving hard.
The NCAA Men's Lacrosse Selection Show, presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, airs live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday, May 6th on ESPNU. For more information, visit ncaa.com, your home for all 89 NCAA championships. First to 25, win by 2.
Coach Ferguson for USC did not want to let Clark go more than one serve without breaking his momentum. Had the timeout and burned it on that. But he gets another overpass and a free ball.
And there was Chris Austin, noticing where the blockers were and was able to sneak one past.
He sure was, and completely fooled the libero, J.B. Green, for USC. who's just playing in really his second match this season. USC feeling he's passing better. And that's not the pass they need from their libero.
J.B. Green is playing against Henry Cassidy, who is a second-team All-American libero. Is out.
He's suited up, though. You can make a libero change if you want to. You see Urvine did it a few times this season.
Set point. And USC will let us see another point. And here is Tony Chiarelli. And he could go on that run right now for SC to try to force extra points here in this first set.
And you see UC Irvine has 4 players, less space for Chiarelli to serve at. What a pass.
Clark has just put it over. Christensen the set. And it's kept up and sent back over. But it's out, and a point for USC. And now the timeout will be taken here by John Speraw. So similar strategies with Speraw and Ferguson. With the 2 big servers, they give them 1 serve, then a timeout.
No more than 1, and then ice them. Just like at the free throw line, they want them to think about this serve. It doesn't mean they're not going to serve an ace, but it makes it a little harder just to think about that.
John Speraw has coached this team to 2 national titles, 2007, 2009. Now in his 3rd. How does the first 2 help him here in the 3rd?
In men's basketball, when you're playing throughout the course of the season, you have some big tournament opportunities, and you have the opportunity to learn from that. You have the opportunity to be in front of media and TV and all these environmental things that you don't get involved in men's volleyball, and it can be distracting. And so when you've been here a couple times, it's easy to manage, and you obviously learn a little bit about the environment, and you learn from the experience. I can say, hey, in this national championship match, this is what happened, here's how we responded. I can tell some stories to the team, and those are powerful stories.
And you wonder if right now he's telling a story to his guys here. They're still with a set point up 24-22 here in the first set.
Well, they're definitely taking a different route. 9 days ago, they fell down 2-0. Then 2 days later, they fell down 2-0. Both times they came back. It was a little stressful on UC Irvine fans and their hearts. But USC, they could not have a better choice for themselves at the service line than Tony Chiarelli, who has been a scoring machine with his top spin serve.
And Karch, you and I were watching him serve from that end zone a couple nights ago, and he could either curve it or have that change up or that screwball.
But you can see that UC Irvine has 4 players, not 3, out, and there's less space for Chiarelli to aim at. They're cutting down his spacing. Look at your screen there. 4 passers, and he breaks out the easy serve.
Hughes with that great start. Austin.
Nice up.
Chiarelli from the back row. The back dig there by Tilly.
Oh.
They're going to say the ball was touched at the net, so the first set goes to UC Irvine.
Well, it didn't look like a touch to me, but the lines person had a much better line on that ball. Let's see. Ooh, that looked like it was over the hands. It's far away. Maybe this is a better view.
If anything, maybe a fingertip got on that ball.
But if it were, that's the call you have to make. A fingertip is all you need.
25-22. UC Irvine takes set 1 in this best 3 of 5 championship.
Yes, all points explode when the story was told. I dream about the cheddar, ice chiseled and gold.
Seen the signs on the passers-by, something's got to give. Can't be free, but it's good for me. But this good thing comes along, and I can't deny too long. I need you to save me. I need you to set me free.
Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
Here it is, a groove slightly trans.
Bud Light Lime. It's everything you love about Bud Light with a twist of 100% natural lime flavor. Bud Light Lime. Summer is calling.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
The national championship on the line in set number 1. Connor Hughes got UC Irvine off to a great start. USC came back, but ultimately it was UC Irvine taking that first set 25-22. The first set goes to the number 1 seed, UC Irvine. Justin Kutcher alongside 3-time national champion Karch Karayan. Karch, in that first set, we talked about that big play for UC Irvine. They started off with that, but that wasn't their bread and butter in set number 1.
Really what worked for UC Irvine was the service line. It has been all season. They're high risk, high reward. They created so many point opportunities that even though their offense was much less efficient than their season average and much less efficient than USC's, they still won by 3 points.
Looking at that first set summary, Carson Clark got off to that good start. So important, 5 kills, hit .333. Also chimed in with 2 aces. Chiarelli, he had a good first set. Maybe not up to par for the National Player of the Year.
And remember, when you serve a ball so hard that it bounces off the other team and comes over the net, that is not called an ace, but it's essentially an ace because now you're on offense instead of on defense. UC Irvine created at least 2 or 3 of those, including in addition to the 2 aces.
Here in set number 2, Stephen Michalski will start things off serving for the Trojans. And we're going to have a net violation here against USC. Point to UC Irvine. Carson Clark will be the first server for the Anteaters. And the block up at the net by Chiarelli.
Chiarelli took a little chance there. He knew Carson Clark was his main hitter, but he still jumped in the air, put his hands over. Nice block, creating something out of nothing to slow down the UC Irvine offense.
Robert Feathers the short serve. Hughes once again. Christensen, the set for Chiarelli. And Chiarelli gets the point. Not always how hard you hit it, but when and where.
Well, first of all, Christensen with a great job on setting that ball. It was going almost into the referee's stand, and he gave Chiarelli something to work with. Chiarelli also very smart to push it with his left hand.
5 kills now in the match for Tony Chiarelli. And a 1-point lead here for USC in the second set.
Of course, the opportunity created at the service line with that look, that short serve. Let's see if he does it again.
A block up at the net. Hughes again. Kept alive by Chiarelli. A set for Chiarelli. And he mishit that one. So who is that? Is that Chiarelli or is that Christensen on the set?
It wasn't a great location, but Chiarelli trying to cut a really thin slice. That's a beat shot right there, that cut shot. But of course, Connor Hughes across the net was all over that. He has seen that in the scouting report. He's, of course, now up at the service line.
USC looking for its first title in 22 years. And UC Irvine has become a powerhouse for the last 6 years, looking for their 3rd national championship.
Back to serve, number 1, Tanner Jensen.
Clark. That was a full point we just saw that anyone's taking a real big swing.
You won't see that often in a men's match. But what it is misconnections. This set led too far in front of the 3-meter line. The only choice for Michalski there was to tip it. Smart play.
Good pass by Brinkley. Leads to the kill by Scott Kevorkian.
And a nice choice by the setter, Chris Austin, seeing that there was no block whatsoever in front of Kevorkian. He gets a one-on-none opportunity, the kind hitters win, or should win every time.
And that serve floats long for the error. And a point for USC. 5-3, USC leading UC Irvine here in set number 2. And Tony Chiarelli is back to serve here for the Trojans.
It's interesting, USC normally this season has started with him the first server, but he's now the 4th server. They're going for a different matchup.
An opportunity here and taken advantage of by UC Irvine.
Again, USC leaving the quick set, the first choice, open. In that case, that was Dan McDonald, who's been so effective for UC Irvine, hitting almost 500, but only his first kill tonight.
Christensen set. There's Tanner Jansen coming flying from the back row.
For the Trojans, at serve by Steve Shandrick.
Now Steven Shandrick back to serve here for USC.
Good read by Christensen.
Chiarelli, the back row on the point.
And you can see in the back row for UC Irvine, they always play Chiarelli to hit to his right. So that time he hit it to his left instead, wide open off the top of the block.
Oh, miscommunication by UC Irvine. And you're thinking right now that Coach Barral will call a timeout, and that's what he will do.
Tanner Jansen, with a mistake, gets the kill on defense.
8-4, USC leading here in set number 2. In this national championship match so far, we've seen some sloppy plays.
If you like video games, you need to be a member of GameFly.
Real gamers talk about why they love GameFly.
Just go online, put games in your game queue.
They get mailed to your house. You can play it as long as you want.
Ship it out and you get your next one.
Join GameFly now with the special TV offer and get all the games you want delivered right to your home for one low monthly fee.
There's no due dates, no late fees.
With over 8,000 titles, GameFly is the best way to rent video games.
First-person shooters, RPGs, multiplayer games.
This is the best way to play all the games you want for a great price.
Get started at GameFly.com now. Save money and play your favorite games all year long.
GameFly has a great value.
Want to own a game you're playing? Buy it from GameFly at a discounted price.
I buy almost all my games from GameFly now.
Nice thing is you don't even buy it for full price.
Go to GameFly.com now. Click the joystick in the top right corner. Enter college in the box. And get started with a free extended trial. And remember, you can cancel at any time. Product shown rated E through M. Now you can also play PC games as often as you want with our new Unlimited PC Play. Free for members.
Back here just outside, well, that's just outside of Los Angeles. We're in downtown LA. And set number 2, USC leads UC Irvine by 4. Let's take a look at the Capital One Cup standings update as teams compete for a combined $400,000 scholarship donation from Capital One. On the men's side, North Carolina leads at 75 points. On the women's side, it's Stanford with a commanding lead over UCLA.
Hitting reserve for the Trojan right team, Steve Shandrick.
And another scoring chance for USC with the bad pass. Watch Chiarelli.
Instead, it's Tanner Jansen once again.
Well, Irvine and I were thinking the same thing. Chiarelli was going to come barreling down the middle. But Jansen with his 6th kill. Christensen doing a nice job as that freshman setter of keeping his opposite involved in the offense.
And now the service error by Shandrick ends that run for USC. You look at the difference between the first set and the second set, hitting-wise by both these teams.
UC Irvine coming out and hitting only 167 so far. Their season average over 350. And a very easy serve from Tillydale.
Leads to an easy point for Stephen Mohalski.
Back to serve for the Trojans in the fly, Micah Christensen.
Now Micah Christensen, the first-team All-American freshman setter for USC, back to serve. And there's that quick set for Dan McDonald. Picks up his second kill of the match.
And it's just so hard if you're on defense because you got McDonough right there, number 5. Tilly flying in right after him, plus hitters at both sidelines. So it's 4 against 3. It's almost unfair. You only get those 3 blockers of the net. There was a time many years ago where in volleyball you could put 6 blockers up. You could put everybody up at the net if you wanted to. They made it illegal, but maybe that's what you need to stop the one big offense with the hitters at the pins.
All the USC players were huddled around looking at a certain spot on the floor. And you wonder if maybe there's some blood on the floor down there, cleaning it up. Set number 2, USC leading by 4. Set number 1 went to UC Irvine 25-22, and this acts like a timeout for both coaches.
But if you're USC, this is not what you want. A 4-point lead, got the momentum, got the tempo, got the rhythm going in your offense. It's a free timeout for Coach Sparrow and his Anteaters.
Coach, we said going to the last break, we've had some sloppy plays early on in this championship match. Why? Is it because of nerves? Is it because of something else, the familiarity? What is it?
A little nerves, and also the fact that these 2 setters are so inexperienced. It's really a half season for Chris Austin for UC Irvine, and a full season now, the end of his first season for Micah Christensen. They've both been doing a great job. But it's not like 3 years ago when UC Irvine had a 5th-year senior, Ryan Ammerman, running the ship and had hitters like Carson Clark in rhythm constantly. And the offenses are just a little rough as a result.
USC right now hitting 400 on the night. Dan McDonald is back to serve here for UC Irvine. Good pass by Torelli. And the kill from Mohalski. It's almost amazing when you get a good pass how easy the game becomes.
Like I said, 4 hitters on 3 blockers. You do the math, and somebody's going to be open somewhere. Another easy pass. So another almost easy put away. But instead, USC makes the point. And you know what? Sometimes you need those plays of luck. That ball went right through the hands of Torelli, but what a great up there. And Mohalski just taking the crazy swing off the head into the stands.
6-point lead for USC.
Now here is a scoring opportunity with a bad pass. And that was going out.
Christensen is set for Torelli. Hughes. A great effort in the back row by Mohalski, but the point for UC Irvine.
Remember that play if USC goes on to fail to win this set. That was a ball that was sailing 6 feet long, but Mohalski played it in the back row.
And now it's Carson Clark back there to serve.
USC doesn't mind a little delay there either, trying to a mini icing for Carson Clark at the service line.
Christensen is set for Torelli. And Torelli with a big swing once again, gets it right back. And that's big when you think about it, because that allows Carson Clark only 1 chance to serve.
Both teams are very happy if they can shut down servers like Torelli for USC and Carson Clark for UC Irvine. And side it right out, get the ball back.
Tilly, that swing is long. And the point for USC. And now a timeout taken here by John Sparrow and UC Irvine. The crowd is getting into it here at the Galen Center. USC trying to tie this one at 1 set apiece.
Your car is everything. Your taxi, your moving van, your baby. And for over 30 years, AutoZone has had the parts you can count on to keep it going. But parts are just part of what we do. We're part buddy, part mentor, part of the American way of doing things. So whether you're Mr. DIY or a master mechanic, AutoZone has your back. Parts are just part of what we do.
Get in the zone.
AutoZone.
Repeat after me. I have big muscles, and cool hair.
Cool hair.
I own an environmentally responsible sports sedan. I'm breaking up with Heather Graham.
I'm breaking up with Heather Graham because I need my space.
Wait, what?
I am winning all the sports.
I am winning all the sports.
I believe in myself.
We are back here inside the Galen Center in Los Angeles, California. Battle of two Southern California schools, USC against UC Irvine for this 2012 Men's Volleyball Championship. UC Irvine to the first set by 3. Now USC up by 7 here in the second set. And Sunday, two highly ranked SEC teams that lead their respective divisions meet as Florida takes on Alabama college softball. Sunday, 3 Eastern on ESPNU. A 9-3 run here for the Trojans.
Feathers likes to drop it in there short, try to disrupt the offensive pattern of UC Irvine.
Kept alive. Chiarelli will send it over. Hughes again gets the kill.
The middle blocker for USC took a rash guess on that play. Number 18, Steven Shandrick, and that left a one-on-one hitting opportunity for Connor Hughes. Easy put away. Normally a middle blocker would have been in front of him, but Shandrick was thinking Carson Clark all the way.
And that effort by Robert Feathers left Tony Chiarelli cracking up. Another swing for Chiarelli, gets the point.
Going back to that previous play, Shandrick, later on in this play, he's going to watch right here. He's going to go to his left, and he leaves it wide open, thinking it was going to go to Carson Clark.
Connor Hughes again. Connor Hughes having a very nice championship match now with 9 kills.
And they need that because normally one of their stalwarts is Kevin Tilley, who's hitting minus right now. Only 3 kills, but 4 errors. And when they played 9 days ago, Tilley had over 20 kills, a huge part of that offense.
Kevorkian sets it. And Clark gets the point. Tanner Jansen thought he had a read on it. 15-10, USC leads UC Irvine.
Yeah, I felt like USC took too much line on Carson Clark there. Left him a lot of cross court to hit him.
And Kevorkian serve. Sails wide, point for USC.
Serve for the Trojans on 14, Tony Chiarelli.
Here's Chiarelli once again serving for USC, hoping to go on a run. Clark comes flying in. Good dig there by Jansen. Clark again. And this time, Carson Clark is able to get the point.
And again, a lot of cross court to hit him. This is going to go to the right of Steven Shandrick, the middle blocker for USC. And in addition, he was reaching to his left instead of taking away the cross court.
A quick set for the middle. And Steven Shandrick, who is hitting .456 coming into this for his career, will retire, finish his career at USC as the all-time leading hitter. Tilly gets the point as the block sails long.
Probably smart at some point for Austin, the setter, to get Tilly, the outside hitter, going. He's such an important part of that offense. When he does not produce, UC Irvine this season has lost.
Good pass by Chiarelli. And a nice easy swing there by Michalski. It was out of bounds, so the point for the Anteaters.
USC had the play it wanted to run to take the service turn away from Tilly. Now he gets a second chance. Let's see if he unloads on this one.
A chance to make it a 3-point set here in set number 2. Chiarelli has it blocked. Another opportunity for the Trojans. And a tandem blocked up at the net by Hughes and McDonald. And a timeout taken here by Bill Ferguson of USC. USC looked like it was cruising along here in the second set. And all of a sudden, this UC Irvine Anteater team has climbed back in. But Tony Chiarelli, the National Player of the Year, Karch, if they're going to win this set, they need more of him.
They sure have, and they've gotten good production. They're drawing a fine line or walking a fine line because they want a lot of production out of him, but they can't only rely on him. They did 9 days ago and lost. He was the only guy with double-digit kills. You could see him there trying to get his teammates going. His coach, Bill Ferguson, gives him a lot of credit for being the senior leader this year. That's not a role that he was necessarily comfortable with or familiar with the last few years, having players ahead of him, older than him, like Murphy Troy.
A 7-3 run here for UC Irvine has made it a 17-14 set. Sunday night, that's tomorrow night, Anish Shroff and analyst Quint Kessnick and Paul Carcaterra will unveil the 16-team Division I lacrosse championship bracket during an hour-long selection show. In addition to the bracket announcement, get a breakdown of field and tournament predictions, along with interviews with select head coaches. The NCAA Lacrosse Championship presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car on ESPNU Sunday night at 9 Eastern Time. And look at the top 20 for college lacrosse. And number 1, the UMass Minutemen. You go down a list, you don't see Johns Hopkins, the powerhouse, perennial powerhouse, until number 8. So a different year so far in college lacrosse. Kevin Tilly serving here for UC Irvine. And he gets the ace. Goes a little shorter with that one. And it's now a 2-point set.
And he used the same motion, but he doesn't swing as hard. The libero, number 3 for USC, just cannot, J.B. Green cannot recognize that soon enough, and he couldn't get forward. He was leaning a little on his heels, which is natural to do till he hits that serve so hard normally.
Green, a former walk-on the USC football team. Now he goes to the power serve, and that one Green was able to handle. Clark, back row dig there by Chiarelli. Free ball here for UC Irvine. They put it away. Dan McDonald, and UC Irvine has stormed all the way back to make it a 1-point set, a 9-3 run.
USC was waiting for the second option to come through there. They call that the Bick, running down right the middle of the court, but it leaves a one-on-one situation for their quick hitter. Number 5, Dan McDonald.
And Tilly was going for it all right there. Service error. Point for USC.
USC has to regret it. It was several serves ago that they had a good pass, a good set, but Michalski hit the ball out by inches. That leads to the set being virtually tied again.
The freshman Christensen Again, that quick set for Dan McDonald. He's right there to put it away. His 4th kill of the match.
Got to give a lot of credit to the setter, number 3 for UC Irvine. He's making good choices, knowing that the second option was so effective a week ago. Now he's setting his first option, his quick hitter, in that case, Dan McDonald.
McDonald to tie this set. Christensen, nice save. And Hughes able to tie it up at 18. Connor Hughes had 10 kills and 6 digs against Penn State on Thursday when he hit .364. This is a guy who started the last regular season game and has been in the starting lineup ever since. And now it's a 7-1 run to tie this one up. The point for UC Irvine to take the 1-point lead. And all the Trojans walking to the bench knowing the timeout was coming. How about this? The Anteaters storming back.
2 big plays. Remember, USC a long time ago took an out ball that would have been a free point for USC. And then the out hit by Mohalski. That gives Tilly more turns at the service line. They were down 17-11. Now up. UC Irvine is 19-18.
They took the first set 25-22. They have stormed back here in the second set. So a couple of costly errors for the USC Trojans. What do they have to do right now to change the momentum?
Well, one guy they have on the bench that they like to go to a lot is Madison McKibben. He's a left-hander. He can change. As a left-hander, he can change the rhythm from either side. So maybe USC decides to sub him in as an outside hitter for Mohalski or as an opposite for Jansen. We'll see if they try to make a move here or just go with what's gotten them close.
And if you think about it, UC Irvine trying to go up 2-0 in this match. They're the ones who were down 0-2 in the semifinals, also the finals of the MPSF tournament. It wasn't USC, so USC would be in unfamiliar territory if they go down 0-2. You see what's at stake right now. This UC Irvine team looking for its 3rd national championship in the last 6 years.
And if Irvine can win with Tilly essentially hitting 0, they've got to be really happy with a 2-0 lead because they know he's only going to get better. He's been so solid for them all season long.
And the crowd here, the pro-Trojan crowd trying to make some noise, but the UC Irvine crowd, who's made this trip about an hour north here to Los Angeles, certainly making their presence felt.
Looks like McKibben's getting ready on the sideline.
Dan McDonald back to serve. And this serve is out, so the point for USC. The 7th service error of the match for UC Irvine. Austin set with a miscommunication. Not a good set there for Kevorkian. And the point for USC.
That play's been successful for them in the last half of this game. But as you said, not a good connection. That ball was set too close to the net. The middle hitter was drifting away. No chance to put that away.
Austin goes for Connor Hughes, and Hughes, who had that good first set, gets a big point here in the second set. And look who's going back to serve, Carson Clark.
And of course, USC with no timeouts remaining to cool any server off now. Oh, what a nice pass.
Chiarelli going high above the net. And that was all started because of a nice pass by J.B. Green.
J.B. Green, what a great pass. That was not an easy serve to control. Puts it right on the money on the head of the setter, Michael Christensen, who puts it in a perfect spot for Chiarelli.
Feathers likes the short serve. Tilly comes flying into the back row. There's that big play you're talking about. And it leads to a point for UC Irvine.
returns for the Trojans. Serving the Anteaters, number 2, Connor Hughes.
Tilly flying through as the second option there. If the first option didn't work on the last play, then they go to the second.
Free ball here for USC. Chiarelli with the point. A couple of big swings for Tony Chiarelli, and you can see Christensen's going to him for those big points.
And Chiarelli's going to be next up at the service line. Chiarelli with his 10th kill there, but USC not minding its chances with Chiarelli, the next server, trying to score a couple of points.
Jeff Carlson comes in to serve here for the Trojans. And a service error. You're tied at 22. And now Will Montgomery will come in to serve here for UC Irvine.
And he prefers more of a float serve, a little less aggressive, but he's going to put it exactly where UCI wants it to disrupt the USC offensive pattern. He wants it down the far sideline.
Christensen, a little change of pace there by Chiarelli. Sent over, free ball for USC. Chiarelli, a faster pace, but he hits it wide, and the points for UCI. And Chiarelli is told now to calm down.
Chiarelli has been best this season, and the crowd is booing as the home cameras here, the house cameras, showed that right on the line.
Chiarelli again. Miscommunication by the Trojans. Tilly.
What a nice shot by Chiarelli. Let's get another look at that ball by Chiarelli right there. Ooh, that looked like it was right on the line. That's what he was getting upset about. But Chiarelli, now at the service line, has been best leading his team when he keeps his cool.
And he can serve for the set if he gets a couple. Tilly has it blocked, and now Chiarelli will serve for the set.
And I'm not thinking he's going to hit the tape again.
To tie this championship up at 1 set apiece.
Pretty good pass.
Clark. He says not so fast. We're going to extra points here in set number 2.
If that ball gets called in, it's already over for USC. They've got to forget about that play and fight this off with a chance on offense to take another set point.
Clark sends it over. The set for Chiarelli, change of pace again, the pancake save. Mahalski.
Good read by Chris Austin there, easy dig.
Tilly has it blocked. The up by McDonald.
Nice.
Another pancake save. Clark the big swing.
Good play to get it to the setter for UC Irvine.
And the point for Carson Clark sets up set point for UC Irvine. Tenth kill of the match for Carson Clark.
What I like about that play was so much good hitter management. The hitter didn't have a good swing. Time after time, they made the defense work for it.
Set point for UC Irvine. They trailed 17-11 here in the second set.
And so many people hit the floor in so many places that USC is going to take liberal advantage of the rules and wipe up every bit of sweat off. Slow the tempo down.
Chris Austin will serve here for the set for the Anteaters. Looking to go up 2 sets to none. We're going to have a couple of more points. Substitution as Chris Litsky is going to come in to sub for Stephen Michalski.
Bringing in a blocking sub here. They know Tilly is a good part of the UC Irvine offense. And that's where they go. What a nice up.
And the back row kill sets up another set point for UC Irvine. And there is a substitution once again. Michalski comes back in, replacing Litsky, and back to serve for the set is a very dangerous Kevin Tilly.
The one who got UC Irvine back in this second set with his serving run, the last one. Short. Remember, he scored on that earlier against J.B. Green, trying to hit that again, unsuccessful the second time.
So we're tied at 26. Micah Christensen, the All-American freshman setter. Tilly comes flying in.
Oh, he came under. When the ball is up at the net, Tilly ran under the net. That's not a legal play. But Coach Sparrow is arguing that the ball was dead. The ball hit the floor. Watch Tilly, number 7. As soon as he runs under the net here and the ball stays alive, that's illegal. He ran right across the center line. Good call if the ball was in the air.
So now set point for USC. Clark extends this set again. Carson Clark looking for his second national championship, keeping the second set alive.
And his coach says that sometimes he has a tendency to overthink. He's best when he just swings hard. He did so on that long rally, scores again, keeps UC Irvine alive.
Dan McDonald to serve. And he gets the ace again, targeting J.B. Green.
Certainly UC Irvine is winning the libero battle. The battle of the different colored shirts who play back row only. And J.B. Green's gotten aced far more than, of course, Michael Brinkley for UC Irvine. And now set point again for UC Irvine.
Again, a chance to go up 2-0 here in this championship match. Good, strong serve. Chiarelli has to put it over. And he will get the points. Chiarelli was the one who received that serve. And it didn't look like he was going for a kill. He was trying to make things a little bit difficult there for UC Irvine. Michalski to serve. Oh, the quick set for Carson Clark, and again he sets up set point for UC Irvine.
And Chiarelli saying, my bad, he was leaning into the middle of the court, left Carson Clark wide open, and the faster he plays, the better he is. Chris Austin, only a half a season into really starting and playing a lot, with a great connection.
And now Carson Clark can serve to give his team this 2-0 advantage.
But you got Chiarelli back up in the front row for USC against the setter.
Again targeting J.B. Green. Chiarelli, the set was behind him. Christensen again for Chiarelli.
The first set, you're right, way too slow and off the net. The second set, very fast, just the way Chiarelli likes it. A lot of these guys love to play really fast, and it creates seams in the block, just as Carson Clark got the easy kill to play before.
29 all. Good up by Christensen. And the kill for Tanner Jansen. Set point again for USC. What a second set here in this championship.
Created by the defense that time of Christensen down the line. Let's see if Austin goes to Clark. Carson Clark out of the back row with the connection that he has. Yep.
And Clark again gets the point as it was touched at the net.
Chiarelli's saying good call. And you got the hot hand right now in Carson Clark. If I were Austin, I'd keep with it until USC starts leaning that way with their blockers.
Connor Hughes now serving here, the sophomore from Costa Mesa, California. It's Chiarelli again. Clark able to keep it alive. Tilly gets the point and sets up another set point for UC Irvine. Fifth set point for the Anteaters here in set number 2. And you say if they get it back once again, go to Clark?
I think they probably go back to Chiarelli here. Well, now they have to. What a swing. Falling backwards. And he had the other one off the 1 foot, the layup approach. What made this good is he didn't hit it low over the net. It hit the high hands and bounced out of bounds, keeping USC alive.
Tanner Jansen back to serve. A deep serve. Clark.
Good hands, Justin. Give a dig.
32-31. UC Irvine again serving for the set.
That caroms off the block right into the hands of my partner here. Again, Chiarelli is hitting against Chris Austin. Not as strong a blocker as Carson Clark.
Kevorkian with a service error now opens the door for USC because Tony Chiarelli is back to serve. 32-32. In case you're wondering, the sets are to 25. And the service error by Chiarelli.
And now you'll see Chris Austin step the other way. He goes to the other sideline. He's going to try and serve right at Chiarelli down the line to try to slow him down in his offensive pattern.
7th set point for UC Irvine. Free ball kept alive by Shadrick.
Another missed time.
Clark for the win. Carson Clark with so many big swings gets the swing on set point and gives his team a 2-0 lead in this championship match.
And his setter Austin and he have been struggling to try to get that connection going, but they certainly did to win this match, hitting it down the line and in to put UC Irvine up 2-0 in the NCAA title match.
Nobody does what Papa John's does.
You choose. For just $10, get a large pizza with your choice of any 2 toppings. That's Papa John's quality for just $10. Or for just $2 more, get any large pizza, even specialties. Plus, earn free pizza fast with Papa Rewards when you order at papajohns.com. Get a large pizza with your choice of any 2 toppings for just $10. Or for just $2 more, get any large pizza.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
The craving for chocolate is all grown up. Ooh. Jared presents beautiful natural Levian chocolate diamonds and chocolate cultured South Sea pearls. Levian is the only company on earth to make jewelry with chocolate diamonds. Levian, the leading family in jewelry, from ancient royalty to today's red carpet. You will only find these styles at Jared. Levian chocolate diamonds, they're anything but vanilla. That's why he went to Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry.
Ladies, wondering what men are always doing out in the shed? Well, it's a guy thing, like Dr. Pepper Test. With all 23 flavors of Dr. Pepper and just 10 manly calories. So what guys want? Like explosions.
Dr. Pepper 10. It's not for women.
Thursday on ESPNU, the SEC's best softball teams begin the battle for a championship.
To deep center and gone!
The SEC softball quarterfinals at noon, 2:30 and 5, Thursday on ESPNU.
Maryland versus #1 Florida State, Monday at 7 on ESPNU.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NCAA for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any picture, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NCAA's consent is prohibited.
The NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car here in Los Angeles. A beautiful night in Southern California. UC Irvine now leads 2-0 after taking set number 2, 34-32. Justin Kutcher alongside Karch Karai. And Karch, what an incredible second set that was. UC Irvine trailed 17-11. They came back. A number of huge swings by Carson Clark, 9 kills down the stretch, including set point. But we're going to go back to the first set and talk about his serving and what a weapon it is in the Home Depot coaching clinic.
First of all, he hits it hard. Second of all, he hits good spots. So you'll see this first serve, and he hits it down the line toward the opposing libero for USC. The next one, he's going to put different. He creates, of course, a great scoring opportunity. They score the point, but later he puts some action on it. It's going to actually have a curveball effect, and it's going to go right into the lap to the shoulders of Tony Chiarelli. Another point. Then he goes back down the line and creates yet another scoring opportunity. That's not an ace, but it's a virtual ace, and he kept UC Irvine ahead all the first set, and then, of course, scored 4 or 5 huge kills down the stretch in that long and very close 34-32 win in the second set for UC Irvine.
Coach John Spiros said that he was going to be a key in this one. Well, if you look at his numbers, he has been a key contributor. 15 kills, hitting .452. Those 2 aces and those other serves that led to points.
You're right. Those serves don't show up on the score sheet, the official score sheet. But really, he's created 6 or 7 or 8 points for UC Irvine along with the 2 aces.
This is a reversal of 9 days ago when it was USC leading 2-0 against UCI. Starting the third set. And the first point of set number 3 goes to Tanner Jansen and USC. Only 2 teams have come back from down 2-0 in the national championship. UCLA in 1972 against San Diego State, and USC in 1988 against UC Santa Barbara. But a key note in that was before rally scoring.
It's a lot harder to do now, but UC Irvine did it twice. Their season would essentially have been over in the conference tournament just a week ago if they'd lost either of those matches.
Carson Clark on to serve. Chiarelli. Nice up by Brinkley.
That's not a great set by Austin, but what a great swing by Carson Clark. Definitely huge for them since Tilly's been struggling a little, their main offensive weapon.
Carson Clark was the MPSF tournament most outstanding player. He's the first player in MPSF history to be named first team MPSF 4 years. And he is long with that serve. Point for USC.
Didn't get the contact he wanted on that one. No top spin, flies 20 feet long.
Tanner Jansen to serve. Tilly coming from the back row, and he hits it wide. Point for USC.
Tanner Jansen back to serve.
Kevin Tilly no longer in the minus numbers. After the second set, he was at 0. But here you said before, this UCI team would be very happy if they have a 2-0 lead and Tilly hasn't even gotten going yet.
Oh my gosh.
And a costly mistake here by USC.
If I'm Shandrick, I don't even block on that play. Tilly is on the ground, on the court, can't even take a swing at that, and instead he lets himself let the ball go off his hands. We call that a tool in volleyball, directing the ball out of bounds off the blocker's hands.
Quick set, Chiarelli gets it back up. And a good job by Tanner Jansen with the aggressive swing. And Chiarelli will go back to serve for USC, and it was Chiarelli who had that service error.
I'd like to have that one back. Just failed to clear the net. He was going for it all on that one swing.
Clark, what an up there by Chiarelli. Green able to keep it alive. Sent over by Jansen. Tilly going up high and getting the kill. Just think about what UC Irvine is trying to do. Beat USC for the third time this year and trying to beat them for the second time in 9 days on their home floor.
Coach Spross said it was a monumental task. It's one thing to do it once and come back from an 0-2 deficit. But now they're in great shape.
And the point for USC. 5-4, USC now leads here in the third set. The quick set for Dan McDonald. Dan McDonald, we talked about that 2009 championship. He's a transfer from Arizona. A former assistant coach actually saw him. He came on a visit. He said, no, I'm not going to come. Next thing you know, the next week, they win a national championship. He calls back. He's like, yeah, I think I'll come. Now he's trying for one of his own. And it's 6-5 USC here in this third set.
Nothing begets winning like more winning.
Chiarelli sets it up. Another block. And another point for UC Irvine.
Back to serve and getting the point for the editors.
Husky having a few swings here, but none of them was optimal. He couldn't see the block in front of him. He had to expect that there were three up, but the set was coming from behind him. He's looking up high. He's got to swing higher than that.
Now Tilly on to serve. Chiarelli comes flying in, but that sails long and wide. And the point for UC Irvine.
Kevin Tilly back to serve. Tilly serve goes.
Too strong on the serve from Tilly. A service error. That's the 11th of the match for UC Irvine.
And it looks worse than it is, those 4 aces and those 11 errors, but they have created so many chances for themselves on overpasses, bad passes, that Coach Spross is just fine giving so many of his servers, especially Tilly and Clark, the green light. Just hit it as hard as you can.
We're here in LA, and right there, Kevin Tilly kind of looked like Blake Griffin, reaching out and just throwing that one over the net. Good pass, the set, great up. Clark, sent over by Chiarelli. And again, it's coming this way, the point for UC Irvine. 9-7, UC Irvine leads, and you wonder if UC Irvine gets another point here on the McDonald serve. Will we have a timeout called by USC as they make a substitution now? The Trojans bringing Ben Lamb. And that serve, I think, was going out. Able to save the point is Mahalski. Ben Lamb now back to serve here for USC, trying to tie this set up at 9.
I'm guessing that USC is trying to get a little more offense. They weren't getting much offense out of Feathers, and they weren't getting much blocking either, so trying to shore up the defense. But then Lamb jumps right in front of Mahalski, who had that play lined up.
J.B. Green comes back in, the 13th kill of the match for Connor Hughes. He had 10 in the semifinals against Penn State. And back to serve is Carson Clark. Austin set for Clark. Chiarelli into the double block. Again for Chiarelli. Goes cross court. Tilly. Austin puts it back over. And Chiarelli's attempt is deep. The point for UC Irvine. 3-point lead for the Anteaters, leading 2 sets to none here in this championship.
Chiarelli trying the beach rainbow shot, trying to make something out of nothing, but he's better off keeping it in play in the deep corner rather than making the perfect shot. Better be careful, USC, or it's going to get away in a hurry with plays like that. And that.
And an ace for Carson Clark, and now the timeout is taken by Bill Ferguson. The third ace of the match for Carson Clark. UC Irvine leading by 4 here in set number 3 and up 2 sets to none.
My bad.
Tell me you have good insurance.
Yep, I've got
Allstate. Really? I was afraid you'd have some cut rate policy.
Nope, I've got
the Allstate Value Plan. It's their most affordable car insurance, and you still get an Allstate agent.
I too have
Allstate.
Same agent and everything.
It's like we're connected.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
The Allstate Value Plan. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate.
Here it is, a cool Bud Light Lime. It's everything you love about Bud Light, with a twist of 100% natural lime flavor. Bud Light Lime. Summer is calling.
The NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship is presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up.
Back here in downtown Los Angeles, UC Irvine looking for its 3rd national championship in the last 6 years. They lead 2 sets to none and up 12-8 here in set number 3. In 2009, the NCAA instituted the Elite 89 Award to honor academic achievement and athletic excellence among its member student athletes. This award is presented to the student athlete with the highest cumulative GPA participating at the final site for each of the 89 NCAA championships. The recipient of the Elite 89 Award for National Collegiate Men's Volleyball with a 3.907 GPA in Business Administration is Ian Carbonier of Lewis University. 3.907. It's too bad it wasn't 4.0. No, I'm just kidding.
Fell just a little bit short.
Carson Clark still serving. Great job keeping alive by Connor Hughes. And Chiarelli will get the point for USC. So out of the timeout, USC stops the service run of Carson Clark. 15 kills for Chiarelli.
And Coach Ferron not happy with Tilly at all, that he stayed on the ground and put that ball over easily. He wants him to take a big swing.
Into the match for the first time is Madison McKibben for USC. Clark. And the dig there by Jansen. Chiarelli.
What a
Tilly
nice
keeps
shot.
it alive. And Clark can't get the cross-court point. A point for the Trojans makes it 12-10.
A great chase by Tilly. He does so many things for his team, including playing great defense in middle back, staying balanced. Even though he was in one half of the court, he chased that way down over by the bench.
Chiarelli off the head of Austin. Again, it's Chiarelli. Tilly comes flying from the back row, and he gets the point.
Back to serve number 2, Connor Hughes.
Not a good pass by Chiarelli. Christensen able to save it, but not for long, because there was Scott Kevorkian for the kill. It's a 4-point lead once again for Irvine.
Great effort by Kevorkian. He was blocking and then he was hitting, and that's the transition game. You have to get off the net as quickly as possible, back up in the air, present a good target for your setter. Picture perfect.
Coming in from the middle, Steve Chandra. Chiarelli back to serve. You look at Madison McKibben. Trying to change it up. There was Chiarelli. And it's Kevorkian again with the point. Think about the run that this UC Irvine team is on in the quarterfinals of the MPSF tournament. They beat UCLA in Al Skates' last match of his 50-year career. John Sperall, like yourself, Karch, played for Al Skates. He then coached under Al Skates, and he beats him in his final match. Then they go down 0-2 against USC in the semis, come back to win. Then 0-2 in the finals against Stanford and come back to win. And now here they are, up 2-0 and leading by 4 in the championship.
And Sperall won as an athlete, as an assistant coach, and now going and very close, 10 points away from his 3rd title as head coach for a team that had never won until he took over the UC Irvine program.
And oh, by the way, he's an assistant coach on the U.S. men's national team.
In fact, it's going to be no rest for the weary. Next week, the USA men are going to be trying to earn their berth for the London Olympics. Of course, the USA women have already earned theirs. They're at home watching, cheering on some good volleyball tonight, but big tournament in Long Beach next week for the USA men, so no rest for Sperall as soon as the college season's done.
Speaking of which, before it's too late, good luck to you and the women this year at the London Olympics as you're an assistant coach of that gold medal team from 2008, trying to defend its championship.
Thank you, and at some point we should see some of these players on this very court playing for the USA men, if not this year, certainly in Rio in 2016.
The middle hit is finally blocked at the net by Ben Lamb.
Lamb does what we call a commit block. He is just going to jump as hard as he can and say, I am stopping my man coming at me, and puts his hands across the net.
Tilly was asking for the set.
McKibben with his first swing.
And he gets the point for the Trojans. So all of a sudden, USC is flashing its depth, which we're so used to seeing from UC Irvine.
McKibben brings a different look as a lefty.
It is a 1-point set here in a 3rd set. UC Irvine leads 2-0.
Action, excitement, competition. Scorit.com is a style of auction where you pay a small fee for each bid. When the bidding stops, the item sells, even if the price is a penny. Winners can save up to 99% off retail price. After you sign up at Scorit, enter the code BIDNOW and receive $10 in free bids. Scorit features gift cards, sports collectibles, and consumer electronics, and is an accredited member of the Better Business Bureau. Go to Scorit now and get $10 in free bids. Score.com. You bid, you score.
Checking in.
Your name, please.
Michael Jordan.
Oh.
Michael Jordan, 8 o'clock?
Oh.
That's me.
Oh. Oh. Man.
How you doing?
Really? Let's go.
25-22, 34-32, and now 16-15. UC Irvine leading USC here in this best-of-5 national championship. The NCAA Men's Lacrosse Selection Show, presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, airs live at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, May 6th on ESPNU. For more information, visit ncaa.com, your home for all 89 NCAA championships. USC, with that cliche, taking it 1 point at a time, trying to get this set, force a fourth set, trying to extend this championship.
Bringing Lamb in, they already got one more kill than they got out of that position from Feathers, so going for a little more offense. USC is. Whoa, there's some spin on that, and of course McKibben not doing a good job and saying my bad.
And that allows for the free ball and the kill for Carson Clark.
The worst thing you can do on that is put it back into Carson Clark's hands with no block in front of him. Got to push that back off the net, keep it on your side.
Kevin Tilley back to serve. His parents are in attendance from France. His mom played on the Dutch national team. His dad on the French national team.
Yeah, I played against him. He was a great player for France.
McKibben got the point, and it looked like he swung the time with his right hand.
The ball went a little too far outside. He had to make a nice adjustment, but Tilley's dad actually is a very good coach in France now. Might become the head coach of the French national team.
Clark again. He has been on fire in this match, now with 19 kills.
And that was a big question mark for Spera going into the season, is what kind of a backup setter do we have? Then once he became the starting setter with the injury to Daniel Stork, the connection between Carson Clark and Austin was the thing in question. It is not in question tonight. Been great.
Chiarelli, the connection with Christensen. And it's 18-17. You mentioned the injury to Daniel Stork, the original starting center for UC Irvine. Suffered a concussion during practice, missed almost 2 months. He is available. He saw Tom in the semifinals. The set for Clark again, and those two tonight have that connection going.
It's very different than it was 9 days ago. Tilley was the guy with 21 kills, I think. Now Clark with 20 and going to rip the ball at the service line. They've adjusted nicely. USC has been leaving Clark open quite a bit.
Clark trying for too much on that serve, and it's a service error.
Okay.
Tanner Jansen again back to serve here for USC, trying to tie it up at 19. It's Tilley coming for the back row. Chiarelli putting it over his head.
With the flipper to the corner, the back of his hand, jumping and spinning through the air. That's a beach shot right there. Right hand flipper. Caught everybody crashing in, playing shallow. Great play by Chiarelli.
His coach compares him to Kobe Bryant. He has Kobe's creativity. But there's Carson Clark again. 21 kills, and we're just in the third set. This is not the fourth or fifth set.
Carson Clark doesn't want to go 4 or 5. They did that already 9 days ago, 7 days ago.
With all fairness, the last set was 34-32.
That is true.
20-19, UC Irvine leading. Connor Hughes serving.
Nice up.
Austin the set. And that will result in the points for USC.
Brinkley made such a nice defensive up. Heat coming at him, pointed his forearms upward, but then he got a little impatient on that second play. And instead of just putting it over easy and giving himself another chance for a dig, puts it in the net and puts Torelli on the service line.
Tied at 20. Great serve.
Opportunity for USC.
And the opportunity is taken advantage of. Jansen with the kill. And guess what? USC is now ahead 21-20. And a timeout taken by John Sparrow and UC Irvine. 21-20. USC now leading. And this year, this 2012 men's volleyball season was the last season in the incredible career of your college coach, Al Skates at UCLA. It's just fitting that we have to talk about him and that the championship is not at UCLA, but at least it's in Los Angeles in his final year.
And they were having a great season, led up a little down the stretch, but they lost to this UC Irvine team in the quarters after beating them handily. What can you say? 50 years? Are you kidding me? The most successful college sports team program. 19 titles over 4 decades.
I love the fact that his first championship came in 1970. His last came in 2006. A 36-year gap between your first and last.
And the 06 one was the most improbable of all. They went on a 14-match win streak.
Here you are playing. I like the hair, by the way.
And the short shorts, the old Michael Jordan, Larry Bird style. Nothing like today's shorts. Al Skates started right out of UCLA. He was a player coach and then a coach, and you can't even fathom 50 years and all the success and you just look at the coaching pedigree.
Right.
Here you got John Sparrow. You've got Jeff Nygaard on the other bench. You've got so many head coaches around the country, former play, and in fact, right there at UCLA, Mike Seeley wins an NCAA title with the women a couple of years after he takes them over, a title just last December.
What did he mean for your career?
I can't even explain it in words. He taught me so much, taught all of us so much about winning, his poise, his confidence in us, and his great game preparation. All of the coaches, all the players who played for him and now coach for him are great students of opponents, and that's been a big job of Jeff Nygaard since they lost their assistant earlier this year, J.J. Riley. He took over all the game preparation, but he got a lot of tutelage on that from Al Skates.
21-21 here in the third set. McKibben.
Uh-oh, that's not going to do it.
And an error there by UC Irvine gives the point to USC.
Remember that play. That's twice now. UC Irvine setting the ball so close that their hitter could not even take a swing at it.
Chandrick serving. It's Tilley going cross court, getting the point. Already headed to extra points again here in the third set. Tilley now in double figures in kills with 10. 22 all here in set number 3. UC Irvine took the first set 25-22. Came back in the second set to win it 34-32. Torelli, a big swing and a missed block in the middle. There's some communication problems for UC Irvine.
And that's Irvine trying to take Torelli out of the offense. They served him with the specific purpose of not having him jump and hit, and he still makes it happen.
Tilley again with the point. He's got 11 kills, and he goes back to serve with a set tied at 23. Great serve. McKibben patiently awaits, and Tilley looked like he was fooled because he thought maybe it was going to be hit by his setter, Chris Austin. And now it sets up set point for USC.
They had a number of them in the second set, couldn't convert. Let's see if McKibben can at least serve it in and give his blockers and defenders a chance to make a play.
And McKibben is a lefty. His first serve, we saw him put a lot of spin on it. The set for Clark. Lamb tries to put it over. But it's sent back by UC Irvine, and we're tied at 24.
That was the opportunity USC wanted, but Micah Christensen could not keep the dig away from his side of the net. Lamb, with pretty much his only choice, was try to put that ball over.
McDonald to serve. Chiarelli. The set for Clark. Again with a big swing. Sets up match point. And the timeout is called by Bill Ferguson. UC Irvine trying to do almost the unthinkable, which is to beat this USC team twice in 9 days on the floor here at the Galen Center. They came back from 0-2 in the MPSF semifinals. Now they lead 2-0 in the national championship match. And they have match point to pick up their third championship in the last 6 years.
Both these programs have done such a great job of turning around from struggling before these coaches took over. But Bill Ferguson, as he mentioned at the top, you don't get titles and you don't get banners up here for second. They have been hungry for 4 or 5 years to win. This is their best chance on their home floor, but UC Irvine coming out so strong, taking it to the Trojans.
Carson Clark, the senior, who has been everything to this UC Irvine program over his time with the Anteaters, has 22 kills and 3 aces in this match, and a number of huge swings, whether he fought off a set point, or he set up a set point, or he wins this set point. He has been the go-to guy in this championship.
And I haven't seen him. I've watched them a lot this season. I haven't seen him have this good of a connection. What a great time for it between his setter, Chris Austin, who took over mid-season, and him. They couldn't have hoped for a better smoothing out of that rough rhythm.
UC Irvine will serve for the match. It will be Dan McDonald. McDonald has 1 ace on the night for match point. And he's got it! UC Irvine, the national champs for 2012. What a match by UC Irvine. Straight sets over USC. The third national championship in 6 years. 2007, 2009, and now 2012. 26-24 in set number 3. Tony Chiarelli's career comes to an end, making 3 trips to the NCAA tournament, 2 appearances in the national championship, and he falls both times to UC Irvine. A ton of respect among all the players, especially those two who just shared a hug, and Carson Clark, who is the MOP of this NCAA championship, and Tony Chiarelli. point once again. Dan McDonald serving. He had one ace on the night. McDonald finishes with 2 aces as UC Irvine captures its 3rd national title in the last 6 years. We will have plenty more to come from here at the Galen Center, but congratulations to the Anteaters. Yep.
PCS arm switches on. The crossover, a rolling embodiment of compromise. We can save it. We have the technology, capable of building a crossover worth driving with breakthrough fuel efficiency. The all-new Mazda CX-5 will be that crossover. Better, stronger, smarter. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
Yes, all points explode when the story was told. I dream about the cheddar, ice chisel the gold.
Repeat after me. I have big muscles, and cool hair. I own an environmentally responsible sports sedan. I'm breaking up with Heather Graham.
I'm breaking up with Heather Graham because I need my space.
Wait, what?
I am winning all the sports.
I am winning all the sports.
I believe in myself.
Big West rivals battle on ESPNU tomorrow. At 5, it's the final stretch of the regular season as the Gauchos square off with the Anteaters.
Strike them out, throw them out, double play to end the inning.
UC Santa Barbara versus UC Irvine. Tomorrow at 5 on ESPNU.
Division I student athletes have higher SAT and ACT scores than college-bound students.
The number of us receiving diplomas
is at an all-time high.
African American males who are student athletes
are 10% more likely to graduate.
Still think we're just a bunch of dumb jocks?
You need to do your homework.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
We are back here in Los Angeles, and that national championship trophy goes to UC Irvine, who wins in straight sets, taking set number 3, 26-24. And let's take a look at tonight's Reese's perfect play, and it's match point. Dan McDonald serving for match point. 25-24, and he splits the defense, and that sets off the celebration. And right now, we're going to throw it over to Karch Karai, who's joined by the head coach for the Anteaters, John Spiron, the MOP, Carson Clark. Karch?
Coach, what was the key tonight?
Oh my gosh, Carson Clark stepping up. You know, we really haven't set our offense very well on the right side of the court for a couple weeks. We've been really good in the middle. And you can see that SC was very concerned with shutting that down. And so we had to have Carson step up tonight. I kind of knew that going in. He did a phenomenal job.
You take this program over, no titles, 3 in the last 6 years. What was the biggest factor in that turnaround?
Oh, total team effort. I think a lot of people think, okay, there was that moment when you took over and then there was this turnaround. It's about you. If you get into a leadership position, you have some success, you realize it's about everybody. It's about hiring great assistants. It's about recruiting great athletes. And a lot of them are here tonight. I'm so happy they can share in this moment.
Carson, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It looked like at times this season you've been struggling with that connection in the setter. What made it so good tonight?
It really hasn't been that great this year, but we've been focusing on the mental side of the game and just expecting always to get a good set. And the new thing, even this week, the coaches, Fresh and Spoo, have been telling me it's just to maintain a flow and just expect things to go well. And that's what I did, and I just was super aggressive tonight. It worked out for us.
You won as a freshman. Maybe learned that it wasn't so easy the last 2 years. What was the difference this year?
It's a huge team effort. Everybody stepped up. We had guys coming in through the entire MPSF tournament, and guys coming off the bench playing huge when we needed it. And I can't say enough about our program, that we're just so talented and deep when we're not one of the premier schools. So it's awesome for us.
Congratulations to all the Anteaters. Justin?
Thanks so much, Karch, and Carson can now shave that mustache. They were unbeaten with him with the stash. This has been a presentation of ESPN. For Karch Karai and our entire crew, I am Justin Kutcher saying so long. Coming up next at SportsCenter U. A straight set victory. The 2012 national champs, the UC Irvine Anteaters. Now, let's get you back to the studio with Dari Noka.
This is SportsCenter U.
Whatever happened, a bid was being stolen. We'll show you why Syracuse, despite having a down season, still has a chance to play for another national championship. A huge SEC softball series in Tuscaloosa as Alabama looked to get a little revenge on arch rival Florida. And speaking of Alabama, might the Crimson Tide be the front runner this fall for another national championship? Our experts tell you the teams you have to watch. It's SportsCenter U. Oh, it is always so good to have you with us. We are glad you are along for the ride. 30 minutes to get you caught up on a big Saturday around college sports. Dari Noka, alongside former Texas A&M All-America pitcher Amanda Scarborough. Lots of softball to get to, but let's start with the national championship match in men's volleyball. USC, UC Irvine. It's the fourth time they've met this season. Irvine won 2 of 3, the last coming 10 days ago. USC's won 4 national titles. Irvine's won 2 national titles. Tony Chiarelli kill. SC up 15-8 in the second after Irvine won the first. Now tied at 25, Chris Austin to Connor Hughes. And the Anteaters end up with a set point there. But USC continues to battle. Now down set point again. The Trojans, but trying to stay alive. And there's Chiarelli for the kill, tying it at 29. Remember, they only go to 25. Second set, Irvine up 33-32. The score is wrong on your screen. Ignore it. Irvine gets the point. They win at 34-32. Most points in a championship set since 2003. Lewis College against